Hello, sportsmen and sportsmen's families, of course. Here we are with a Christmas Day show. What we're going to do on this program is something a little different. We're going to show you a program that we put together several years ago before maybe it was cool for women to get into the outdoors. We have a program about ladies hunting, ladies outdoors, all from the women's perspective. I think it's a good thing to do on a Christmas Day, celebrating our mothers and our wives and our sisters and our daughters. Women outdoors. I'm Fred Trost. Stay tuned. You're watching The Practical Sportswoman? You got to admit, you don't look like a hunter.
Okay.
I mean, you have this job of going out to the public and disseminating information on townships and so on. Mm-hmm. And when I first met you and came to look at this videotape, I thought, whoa, you look
look like a hunter.
Now, and I can't really figure out what it is that you do. You look like a professional working woman.
Oh, thank you.
That might be in the president's cabinet or something like that. I mean, seriously.
Thanks very much.
And you live out in the country. And
yeah, we have 80 acres.
And these are some of the racks that you've gotten.
4
racks. This is your deer hunting history.
That's
right
it, right. In 74.
Before we talk about Evelyn's deer hunting history and talk more about women outdoors, you recently got this little, what is it, just a palm quarter.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you took some videos.
Out of my back door.
Mm-hmm. Through the window? Or out
yeah,
the door?
Through the sliding glass doors in the yard.
And you have in your yard, do you feed deer in your yard or what?
No, we just have some trees and they come up there and get the acorns. And usually on schedule you can tell they're going to be there, the does. And then this one day there was a buck out there, so I grabbed the camera and took it out the window.
This was earlier this year.
Yeah, in August.
In late August. And,
mm-hmm.
and they were doing a number of different behaviors, as I recall, on the tape. I mean,
well, I've got a lot of shots of deer, but that particular day, they were just milling around, and then I saw there was a buck, so I right away, got the camera and I focused on the buck, and I thought it was eating leaves, but in fact, my husband said it was making a licking branch or something like
right,
that.
exactly. Yeah, that's what it was doing.
So.
They call it a licking branch. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes if they're licking or they're rubbing between
right.
their eyes or their forehead, and that is actually more important to deer than the scrape that's underneath. And
yeah, it
that
was
buck
interesting. Yeah, it did all the things it was supposed to.
Pawed the ground
yeah.
underneath. And the funny thing was, this wasn't what you'd call along a deer trail.
No,
or do the deer
no.
go there every day?
Well, we planned on having them there almost every night and every morning. And in the nighttime, out of the bedroom window, I can hear them snorting and eating acorns all night long. You see their silhouettes.
Well, now, how does this affect you? A lot of people who have deer in the yard or photograph deer, they become, real chummy, almost like household pets.
No, I don't. That's not how I looked at it. No, I looked at it as a part of the food chain.
How did you get that attitude?
Well, I don't know.
Did you grow up on a farm?
Yes, we eat 2 to 3 deer a year. That's for our family. And so if we don't get 2 deer, we don't eat as well.
These are the bucks that you've taken. This was the first one that you took.
1974, right.
Look at this. They
razzed me quite a bit about this because only having 1 horn, but I figured there was horns, so I shot. And my brother gutted this one for me.
Okay, well this antler's broken off.
Yeah.
Right there.
When I shot it, it only had this.
So it looks like I'd guess a car accident.
And I was sitting in a blind without a cover on it, right out in the elements on that one. So, and I had a gun with just 1 bullet in it. That's all my husband would give me at that time. And then this one is 1987. He was kind of small, but he had horns, and it just took 1 bullet, and so I was in a blind with a cover on it. Yeah, right.
Okay, and then the past 2 years, you've really done well.
Yeah.
This is the 8
It had a lot of points, but they were weird because of this whatever mite or something in it.
Yeah, there are the bumps on the end, and once again, this time here is
broken
off.
Right.
You must live in a rough neighborhood, at least for deer. So this was 1993.
Right, and my husband gutted this one, and this was my 3rd one, and I gutted this one myself.
Well, bravo. Now, did you want to?
Well,
did you do it on a dare?
My brother said he wouldn't do it again. My husband said he wouldn't do it again, so I had to do my own.
I see.
And I did this one too.
And did this one, and
this was this year.
This year, a 6-point, and actually the biggest complete rack that you've
Yes, the
gotten so
nicest
far.
one.
Evelyn David exemplifies everything positive about a woman hunter. And although she hasn't taken a huge trophy deer, we do see a number of women who do qualify for Practical Sportsman Hunting Awards. Let's start with Gail Pavlik from Columbus, who got a 7x6 bull elk with a rifle. My first question for Gail was, how did you get into elk hunting?
Well, just by luck. My husband sent my name in for a better chance, and
Are you a deer hunter?
no,
Are you a rabbit hunter?
no,
Are you a hunter?
no, not really.
So how did you get ready for this hunt?
As children, we shot. My father was a hunter, and my uncles and stuff. So we shot as children.
So when you got that notice in the
mother
mail that you were a winner,
Yeah.
what'd you think?
Well, I was real surprised, and so I showed my husband when we got home, and he's like, "Now they're going to tell you whether you get a bull or a cow." I said, No, I think right here it says hunter's choice. He said, "Oh my God, you don't understand. You just don't understand, you know." So that's what we off to the Atlanta to get him. So they dropped me off in a field in a what do you call it? Fire trail. And he said, when you go in there, you'll see the biggest one. He'll be on the left. And sure enough, there he was. There was like 15 cows and two other bulls. And he was the biggest, and he stayed right in the middle. And every step he took, they took. So I had to wait. All I kept thinking was $2,000, $1,500, you know, for each error you make. So I had to wait till I got a shot. And he crossed the fire trail and came by a tree where someone had cut like a Christmas tree or something and left the large stump, and he had to pass behind the stump, and I said the next step he takes, he's mine. So I shot and he fell. So.
No, very good. Was your husband with you during that time?
No.
Would you have preferred that he was?
Sure, yeah, he would have had the camcorder. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Congratulations, Gail
you.
Pavlik and her big 13-point elk. Super. When a husband talks his wife into entering the lottery drawing for an elk hunting permit, it's not unusual for a woman to win a permit when she hasn't hunted before. That's what happened to Adele Glannert from Johannesburg. She got a 6x6 bull during her first hunting experience ever. So what's a woman's perspective on elk hunting who's never hunted before?
Well, it was a great experience. It made me see what the hunters really go through, because I didn't just put this one down. I had to track him, so it gave me a a good idea of what they go through out there.
Now, are you going to deer hunt next year? What's your hunting future?
I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably deer hunt next year. I didn't deer hunt this year. Of course, I didn't have any room in the freezer, so.
Mm-hmm. And you keep rubbing that into all your friends, huh?
Well, not really.
Well, good. So do you have a different perspective on hunting now?
Yeah, definitely.
What was it before?
That they go out there and have a lot of fun. It's really easy, and it's not really.
Oh, it's hardly any fun at all.
No.
Well, I'm glad that you got that point. You ought to come to our camp. We'll show you some good times.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, a lot of people will. Well, good. Congratulations. From a first-time woman hunter to one who has a few years under her belt, Judy Weiland from Gregory got an 11-point buck. You were hunting with your husband?
Yes, he was in his blind, and he built my blind, and he was real proud of it. And it was 4:20 in the afternoon, and he was, I spotted him about 40 yards away behind me. He didn't make a sound. I just seen him moving a little bit. I didn't know if it was a buck or a doe. I was just getting ready to shoot. I had a doe permit, and I wanted to get a deer. And he walked up, and he was 20 yards away, never looked at me, never made a sound. And one shot, he went down.
What's your hunting background?
I started hunting about 2-3 years ago when I was dating my husband, because he hunts all the time. And if I wanted to see him, that's what I had to do. And go rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, duck hunting, everything.
So you're kind of into it?
Yeah.
You like wild game to eat?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's how we eat. So I was real proud to get this, because I was putting my deer on the table.
Well, that's
So
great.
It was a lot of fun.
Julie, that's super. An 11 point with a 16-inch spread.
Thank you.
Way to go. Doreen
Bacchus.
Bacchus. Okay, and you're from?
Ithaca.
From Ithaca. You drew an elk permit this year, and was it your idea?
No.
Whose idea was it?
It was my husband's.
He's on the other end there?
Yeah.
And he didn't get an elk permit.
No.
Do you hunt?
Yes.
Oh, so you're a deer hunter and also you were,
Sure.
oh, okay.
I
Well,
was-
I mean, sure.
I was ready to go.
Okay, and you said to me before that we should encourage more women to
Yes, most definitely. It's a fun sport, getting out there in the middle of the woods and watching things like this walk by.
Have you been successful deer hunting?
My first year I got a 5-point, and then this last year I got a 5-point. A real bad-looking 5-point.
But you've been hunting 2 years?
No, I've been bow hunting since '86 and gun hunting since '91.
What do you like better?
Elk.
Elk hunting? Well, that's what you do have here. This is huge. Where's this going to go?
This is going in our parlor on an outside wall, so we have studs to hang it on.
Now, does your husband have other little small deer antlers that he's going to put around it to kind of, does he?
Yeah, something like that.
That'll be cute. Well, very good, Doreen. I hope that you do encourage more women to get into hunting because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on that. Janine Howland Skinner from Bel Air is a seasoned hunter who didn't start because of her husband. She's always hunted. And she not only field dresses her own deer, but she field dresses all of the deer her husband shoots too.
Yeah, I have to do it because my husband's allergic to the hide. So I have to do all the...
And you believe that?
He is, he really is.
How do you know?
Because I've seen him, he can't breathe when he touches the hide.
You just gave hundreds of hunters out there a new idea.
Yeah, but they got to... No, they really got to look really bad if they... His eyes get red and they close right up and he can't breathe.
He can't be from getting near a deer hide?
Yeah, he is allergic to the deer hide. So I have to do all
But he deer hunts.
Now I got him into deer hunting, yeah. I just take care of the other stuff. He can shoot them, and I shot this one, though.
So he is allergic to it.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into hunting then?
I've been hunting since I was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big hunting family? A lot of brothers or what?
I have one brother. I just love to hunt.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, what is it about it? Is it like, are you out there for a big buck or?
No, just to get a deer, but this year it was a big one.
Yeah, that's great. You got an 8-pointer with an 18 and 5/8 inch spread with your Browning
25-06.
25-06.
Yeah.
Sound like you could do some seminars on this.
I don't know.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you.
Janine. What a great story. And concluding the stories from our Hunting Awards banquet last year, Mary West from Monroe tells a tale that has a lesson in it for all hunters about being prepared.
And when I got up there that day, couldn't make up my mind, what I was going to shoot. I have a hard time shooting a pump, so we decided, well, let's try the single shot this year. And that's what we did. Went out there opening morning, and just sitting around and watching the blue jays and the geese fly over and just enjoying the beauty of it all out there and not hearing any shots and sitting there with the gun in my lap, and it was no shell.
What do you mean, no shell?
I didn't load the gun. And I looked out of the corner of my eye, and on the ridge, on the right of me, here was this big buck coming. I thought, oh no. So I just sat there and left him go right on by me. And when he went by me, I stuck my hand in my pocket, and I pulled out a piece of candy.
Don't tell me you killed this deer with a piece of candy.
And I was just so quiet about it. I just put my hand in the next pocket, brought out the shell, slipped it in there, and I stood up and I shut the chamber, closed it, and when I did, he heard it. And he looked at me, and when he looked, I knew if I wouldn't have fired then, I would have lost him, and I thought, no way. And I fired it, and I shot him in the back, and he went down, and I thought, wow, after all these years, this is really great. And then I yelled for my friend, Sandy. I said, Sandy, because it went down. I thought, oh, I got to get some help and get this deer out of here now. And the deer started to raise up on me. And I thought, oh, no, he's not getting away. Boy, I just flipped that shell back out of that chamber, and I grabbed another one, put it right in there, and I went right after him, and that was it.
Now, how many deer have you taken?
This is my first one.
Your first deer, and how many years of hunting?
Over 20. I started out bow hunting. And then the kids started coming along. Mom got left home. And then I went ahead and I just started going back at it. And I just love it. I love being out in the outdoors and getting back at camp and playing cards and listening to all the stories. I listened to a lot of stories and never thought I'd tell my own.
And you got a great one to tell now.
Yeah, I borrowed the gun, and when I shot their best deer on camp, because when we picked it up and we looked at it, she said, oh, those guys are going to kill you. They've been after this deer all season.
Well, that's a 13-pointer with an 18 3/8-inch spread. Mary, good story. Tell that at deer camp for many years to come. Well, this is Kathleen Peters from Homer, who got an opening day buck that you were on Big Buck Night, but we didn't have time to talk then.
Right.
And we couldn't make exceptions just because you're a woman. What do you think about that? Should I have done that? Should I have included women in Big Buck Night just because they were women?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I knew you'd say that, but I wasn't going to do it, so I created a special Big Buck Night here for women. And now you can tell me the story behind this buck.
I got this buck on opening morning. I had sat for 4 hours hunting, didn't see anything, was on my way back to the house to eat. Here he come.
Here we go. And you got this buck with a 10-gauge single shot?
Yes.
That baby must kick.
Don't even think about it.
Huh. Well, so you've been shooting all your life, or what?
I've hunted for many years.
And this is your biggest buck?
This is the largest.
The largest buck with a 10-gauge. A woman who hunts with a 10-gauge? Nobody gives you any guff in the field, huh? Well, terrific. Kathleen Peters, that's outstanding, and that's the story behind her Big Buck Night buck.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Now, concluding our tribute to lady hunters, we have Marian Hinkle from Athens, and you got this buck this year, which is
First opening day,
opening day.
opening morning.
Okay, now, what is your hunting history?
I have hunted for 14 years, ever since I retired.
Oh,
And this is my fourth one.
your fourth buck? Or
No,
fourth
my
deer?
fourth deer.
Okay, but your biggest buck, huh?
Oh, yes.
Now, what was it about retirement that got you into hunting?
Time.
Really?
I had time.
What now is your husband? You
And my
brought-
husband encouraged me.
Okay, you brought your husband along here. What's the story with his rack?
He got his 2 years ago when he was 85 years old. And he's hunted all his life, and this was his best one,
No kidding.
out of the same blind.
So he's what, 86 now?
87,
87 and you're 77.
right.
You're 160 years old together.
Oh, come on.
I mean, that's it's just, wow.
Bad enough.
Well, no, that's terrific. And this is the biggest buck. This is what, a 10-point, is that?
Yes,
Wow, out of the same blind that you hunt from.
yes.
So what advice do you have for lady hunters, all your years of experience?
Persistence.
I see. This probably goes for hunting and for marriage and for raising kids and everything.
That's my oldest one back there.
Oh, it is? Okay.
He brought us up.
Well, terrific. Brought you up here, and now you are the expert hunter. Now, does Forrest still hunt?
He didn't go out this
Didn't go
year.
out?
He didn't feel like it.
But you still have some hunting ahead?
I think so.
Are you going to do any muzzleloading hunting?
No.
We're not going to. Okay, we'll just leave it at the shotgun hunting, huh?
We only kill what we can eat, and
Well,
we
that's
can
very
only
good.
eat one deer a year.
Well, amen. I think that is very excellent. Folks, let's bring a little round of applause here for the Hinkles. That's terrific. Pretty cool, huh? Women outdoors. I mean, women on their own outdoors. This has become something in, I would say, really the past year or two that I guess it isn't fashionable, isn't the in thing to do. It's just something that women have gravitated more towards sharing outdoor activities like hunting and fishing and camping with men. And it seems to be no big deal. I think it should be that way. I think we should welcome all groups. I mean, it doesn't matter a person's color or gender or age. we got to get more people involved in outdoor activities. That's one thing that we've noticed in 1997 that has been, I guess outdoor people haven't really wanted to face this, but when we saw the license sales go down on hunting licenses, fishing licenses, even the campground, the people who have gone camping and bought campground permits on the state parks has gone down. So that's kind of a distressing thought as we look ahead towards 1998 and the years ahead. But it's something on this program that you're going to see we're going to more and more encourage. People getting into hunting and fishing and the outdoors. It's not rocket science, folks. It really isn't. That's one mistake I think we've made over the years as we've talked about the outdoors as being highly technological, complicated, you know, the space age, the computer age. You don't have to have that as a part of hunting and fishing and the shooting sports. You know, it might be kind of fun, but it certainly isn't necessary. That's the message we're going to be bringing to you. Of course, our magazine, yes, our magazine has been a little behind schedule, but for the past 3 years, I have been in law school and have finally successfully completed that. We'll very soon have my law degree. We're going to get this operation going, the museum, our publications. In fact, we have a big meeting coming up. Put this on your calendar if you're an outdoor sportsman's club that has a shooting range. January 10th at the museum, a meeting specifically on shooting sports in Michigan and ways of improving and protecting and promoting it. Put that on your calendar. Well, for those sportsmen who did get their Christmas shopping done and were able to get out fishing and hunting this past week, Matt Radzilowski did get a guide report on Monday. Let's run around the state here. We're going to start down at South Haven, where Captain Don said that they are getting good steelhead catches in the St. Joe. Over on the Trenton Lighthouse, Detroit River, Frank says he doesn't know what this deal is about a shortage of perch because they've had a banner year down there, and they are catching walleye, some dandy-sized ones. Lake St. Clair, perch have been hit and miss off the docks, but they're getting good catches of pike. Up here at Linwood, the perch fishing has been spotty, and this is the problem area for perch. If you've read about it in the papers, they are getting some good eating-sized walleye, good catches. Over here at Whitehall, steelhead and browns have been good. Now, this is in Lake Michigan when the fishermen are getting out there, weather permitting, and they're also catching them in the river. Perch are scattered in White Lake. Now, Chip at Pilgrim's Village says at Cadillac, walleye fishing has been good. We're talking Lake Mitchell. They've been getting, this 11-pound pike was right behind Pilgrim's Village there on Lake Mitchell, and some good-sized perch. Oscoda, steelhead have been slow. Up at Alpena, they've been getting good catches of perch at Grand Lake. The open water in Burt Lake has been producing some fair walleye fishing. Up in Muskong Bay in the UP, getting some rabbits, although not a lot of snow. Bay de Noc producing a couple walleye per angler, some dandy-sized ones. Splake and whitefish off the breakwall. Perch and walleye have been slow in Marquette. Ontonagon has been producing some fair fishing. And in the UP, in the Houghton, way up in the UP, deer hunting has been slow. Pike have been good at Chassel Bay. Let's take a look at the ice conditions real quick. We do have some ice in the UP. Nothing hitting the foot thick yet, but a few inches. In the northern lower, there are bays and channels that have plenty of ice on them, although there is still a lot of open water. The snow report, check it out there. The western end of the UP is where we have the snow, not so much in the eastern. But hey, we have a great year ahead. Join us next week for our year-end review. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a safe New Year. We'll see you next week. That's a great photo of a trophy buck on the cover of the October-November Outdoor Digest magazine. If you like your magazines in color, hey, you'll love this one. Lots of charts and graphs that show you where, when, and how the big bucks are taken. And we have a page on deer season fishing as well. How to do it projects, recipes you can cook with fish or game, The Truth About Scents by Kevin Cray, tips on where to go for fishing and hunting success at this time of year, Dog Talk with Mark Raymond, Fishing for Fun with Professor Finns, Price Watch checks the cost of sporting goods. MSDA News describes how this new organization will become the leader in promoting the shooting sports in Michigan. I explain why hunting, fishing, and shooting is not rocket science. It's easy and it's fun. For a free copy of this issue, write to me at Box 1001, Bath 48808. Enclose $1 and we'll send your issue first-class mail the same day we receive your request. In the fall, when a big buck looks like it's eating, it's probably sniffing the ground, looking for a doe in heat. The month before winter, the bucks that do most of the breeding don't eat like a normal deer. They're chasing does instead. The result is they'll lose as much as 50 pounds during the time of year that they should be putting on fat. The breeding bucks are not physically ready for the onslaught of winter. If a breeding buck can't find some food most every day in January, February, and March, he may not live to see the spring. Now, the bucks I'm talking about that do most of the breeding are typically 4 and 5 years old. They've been the biggest and the strongest. They've had plenty of food throughout the rest of their lives, but the winter following a heavy breeding season is different. When the winter is hard, you'll see deer hanging around logging areas, eating the tops of cut trees. Some of the deer will have the hair on their backs messed up. Those scruffed up deer, for one reason or another, have been kicked away from food by other, more dominant deer. Now, in the winter, the bigger deer get their choice of food first because they fight for it. It's amazing how fawns survive in the first place, though. This home video of newborn fawns, well, they can't be more than an hour or two old, was taken by Doug Sofa from Utica,